Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to my channel. I am Richard Gutierrez, aka the Jersey Texan. Welcome. Today I'm going to do a book read from one of my earlier works, fiction novel called Unraveled. I wrote this book, started it in 2003, took me about 15 years to write, because back then we didn't have the technology that we have today. So I started writing in notebooks, composition books, napkins, my hand, anywhere where I had a thought and idea, I wrote. I just wrote so much that I think the pen took me to where I needed to go. In that time, I also put it in my laptop, got myself a laptop. Unfortunately, the laptop was destroyed and I was devastated. Nothing was far more important in that laptop than this story. And so I brought it to a computer shop where they were able to retrieve and get the information from the hard drive. So when I got that, I transferred it to my latest laptop. And then you got the zip drives. So I have like cases of zip drives just with all the information. From there, it's just a matter of preservation and maintaining. So bottom line is, it's taken me a long time to write it in between shifts. Nights where I just couldn't sleep. I just took the time, I made the time to keep writing this story. And I think it's an important story. Psychological drama of Coronado, the main character, growing up in Jersey City. With family, positive influences, a good school, and there came a time where Coronado just met different people and he had to make different decisions, and he was thrusted into the streets, the urban streets of Jersey City, and he had to decide what was right and wrong, if there is a right and wrong. So it's a good look into the dichotomy or the understanding of humanity and understanding morality. It's too deep. Look, I spent the day going on location of Jersey City so you can get a sense and feel of what I'm trying to visualize for you. It was originally written for the theater, for the movies, for film, and I probably will adapt the screenplay and convert this into a film. So there's a lot of visuals connected to the story as well. Thanks so much for watching this channel. If you guys are new, please hit the like button, share, subscribe. Hope you have as much fun watching this book read as I did portraying it and reading it to you and putting it all together. Thanks again. Enjoy. Big Dave worked at the Starlight Laundromat. He was a tall, slim, older man with a dirty blonde mop which came down to his shoulders. He worked in his wife's business as the head custodian and enjoyed his work, and the guys in the neighborhood respected him because he was discreet and let us hang around the place. The payphone inside was partly the reason why the guy stood around in front of the establishment, as it hung to the right of the door as you walked in. And two huge window panes shed light into the laundromat next to the phone, so it was easy to see who was walking out by front. Transactions mostly took place over the phone, meetings, deals, and even calls for the people who did not own a telephone in their homes. Big Dave knew what happened on that phone, but he never said a word, because he understood the business, and as long as no physical deals took place inside, he would have no problems with his wife, Megan. Malik and Joshua Salami Russo pulled up to the corner. I hopped into the back seat, and I preferred it that way because I wanted to be incognito. By then, they had already mixed their Collins drinks in these tall plastic cups and proceeded to make me one, and after a couple of lefts, we were already on the boulevard. My potion was ready just as we approached the red light behind another vehicle. And as if the car was about to stall right there on the spot, he unexpectedly passes the double yellow lines on our left, passes the vehicle in front of us, and eats the red light. I'm freaking out because we have open containers of alcohol, and he pulls a stupid stunt like that. The gas station is 1 block ahead to our right on Communipaw, and we didn't quite make it there because a cop had immediately pulled us over. Today, I walked toward my favorite barbershop. He was the first Puerto Rican barber to open in the Jersey City downtown area. Plus, he gave me my very first haircut. I also liked it because he had that red, white, blue striped spinning cylinder as you reached the front entrance. And a tiny bell above the door rang as I opened it and walked in. Buenas, saludos. There were a few guys sitting patiently to get their haircuts. There were always 5 barbers snipping hair away, and the Hispanic authenticity was obvious in the coquille figurines hanging above the front mirrors, a few handmade carvings of musical instruments, and myriad tropical plants. The floor had black and white checkered tiles and was always clean from hair, since the barber swept every time one of them took a break. Hola, Coronado. The head barber, Indio, always collected the number selections and their bets for me and placed them in a sealed envelope near the register. I usually used the restroom first, and on the way out, he would hand it to me. But things changed for me on this day. There are 2 kinds of crooks I can't stand the most, and they are thieves and rat bastards. And so by that classification, I was better than that delinquent kid. And if it weren't for him, I wouldn't have been faced with the possibility that I could get popped by the police, or worse, federal agents, for things that were deemed illegal and wrong by their standards at any time. Things were done because that's how things were done and taught. There was no prior morality class between right and wrong. It was a way of life, and the unspoken dichotomy of the streets. I took a stroll through the 38th school courtyard because it was quiet when the children weren't around, and to think about my next moves. I sat on some steps that probably needed to be pressure washed, along with the entire school grounds years ago, but I was used to the urban grime and grit. I rested my eyes and lowered my head into my supporting hands, elbows on the top of my legs, relaxing and unwinding from the bustle and hustle, only for a brief moment until the crescendo of chaos slowly ensued. A small group of 5 guys were walking into the school's enclosure, one carrying a boombox loudly playing a taped mix of rap music, and there was no doubt our paths were about to meet because of the sharp looks I was getting from a couple, if not all, of them. "Sup, yo?" one said, or asked. The guy holding the radio lowered it maybe just a couple of decibels when I nodded my head to acknowledge. I remained sitting as not to show signs of aggression or fear, but they halted by me and decided to carry on their objective. I carried nothing of value on me. There was no flaunting of expensive jewelry, no name brand clothes, and I probably only had about $50 cash on me, so I was unsure what they were looking for. I said, "Sup, yo?" "What's up?" I got up and extended my hand to shake, but the front man slapped it out of his way. That's when the instigator hit me with a right to my left forearm that instinctively raised up to protect myself. But it still made contact enough to razzle me a bit. 2 others joined in on punching me, and while I was trying to protect my head and face, I kicked one of them really hard in their leg, enough that I think I broke his bone while he fell to the ground screaming in agony. Every so often I tried to push an assailant off, and I might have connected on a punch to a jaw, but they were relentless. I was being smothered while one guy tried to go into my pockets, but then a loud crashing noise suddenly stopped everything. Driving northbound on Kennedy Boulevard, less than a 15-minute commute from Bayonne Park, I approached a statue of the U.S. President for whom the park was named after, Lincoln. To me, he broke up the monotony of watching tightly grouped super dense houses along the busy boulevard, and from the jaywalkers who not only crossed when the signal light is green, but also from the middle of the streets where there are no clear designated crossing lanes. Before it was Lincoln Park in the early 1900s, it was known as West Side Park. Lincoln the Mystic greeted me on the east side of Lincoln Park while seated with his hands crossed between his knees. The original bronze sculpture had already turned green, just like a penny would if you left it exposed to water or moisture for too long, and his solemn yet calming demeanor gave me a warmth of a relaxed feeling every time I entered his domain. It seemed that I always got the red light at Belmont, but when it was legally time for me to turn left, as the light turned green, I drove past him and headed westbound towards West Side Avenue. It was soon after that I gazed at the majestic water fountain that resided there. The 53-foot-high fountain was restored by the county and rededicated on July 10, 1990. Friezes of pool frogs spouted out water, and an eagle stood on top. I stayed to my right onto Lookout Drive, where I proceeded to make my way to the north corner of the park.